Hello and welcome back to Northern Lights Season 2. You might notice a few little differences on the server compared to the last episode. Basically, we're on a new world. It's still Season 2, but we're on a new world. Many of us on the server struggled with the mod packs and not crashing and all that good stuff. So we decided to just reset the world, start off new with some new, oops, why did I do that? Why did I do that? We decided to start new with, or start fresh with a new mod pack. Yes, sorry, that was weird. So basically, we still have Create, of course, because Create is amazing. We also have the biomes. I think it's all the biomes you'll go or something like that. That's one of the mod packs that we have. So that's why we have this cool looking prairie, and that's where we're gonna live this season. But we don't really have much else. We had better Minecraft, we don't have that anymore. So we're gonna build our base this season in this little prairie here. So let's take a look at what we already have. We got this train track here that we were on earlier. It's gonna reach here a little station that we're gonna build eventually, just not yet, but eventually we're gonna have a little train station here. And the field is gonna stay a field like that. We're just gonna add a cute little house right there in the middle, and that house is gonna have a little secret, but we're gonna talk about that later, because before we talk about the secret, we need to have the actual house itself. And that's the house. Nothing too grand, nothing too special, just a simple little farmhouse in the middle of a field. The important part really is the secret, and the secret is that, well, there's gonna be like a hidden button or something like that somewhere, maybe in the tree or in the train station. We'll see, we'll figure all of that out later. But when we press that button, it's gonna split open that house. One side's gonna open that way, the other side's gonna open that way. So there's gonna be like a big gaping hole in the middle here with an elevator that's gonna take us all the way down into the depths of the land, where there's gonna be a super cool, super scary hidden lab. And by lab, I meant laboratory and not like the dog breed. So we are inside one of my experimentation rooms, where I'm gonna demonstrate how the little system I'm gonna use to make my house split open, how it's gonna work. So first we need some rotational power, obviously. Let's just use a water wheel for now. We can connect this water wheel here to a mechanical bearing, and if we place, let's say, just these two blocks like that, and we glue them together, we can make it rotate. So far, that's pretty simple. So let's just stop it like so. Oops, no, that's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. So, okay, perfect. Perfect. What I was gonna do before I rudely interrupted myself is, if we use a sequenced gear shift, we can program it to turn a certain angle. So for example, let's go 60 degrees. I think I'm gonna have to change the direction. There it is. So now it's gonna rotate 60 degrees and it's gonna end. But that's not what we want. If we select await, it's gonna wait for a redstone signal. And then for this one here, let's select turn by angle again. And again, let's say 60 degrees. We might have to adjust that eventually. But yeah, we got 60 degrees and then it ends. So basically what this does is, if it gets powered, for example, by a button, like so, it's gonna rotate 60 degrees and then it's gonna stop. And now it's waiting for a new redstone signal to revert back to its initial position. So that's basically what we're gonna use. But first we need to cover the entire house in glue so that everything sticks together. Then we go in the basement of the house, add a power source, slow it down a lot, otherwise it would look a tiny bit weird. Then we link everything together to our mechanical bearings and some wireless redstone. And you press the button. Ta-da! The house splits open to reveal a hidden elevator. So this platform here will rise when you open the house, and when you press this button, the house will close and the platform will bring you down into the site of our future secret lab. So we're gonna start the base today, but we won't really be building much, just working like on the elevator area, so let's start building. So that's gonna be the elevator room. As you can see, I went for a very dark theme with some leaves on the ceiling, although well, some of them are kind of dead-ish. It keeps with the dark theme, I guess. And I used some cogwheels and shafts and stuff like that all around the place just to give it more life, because seriously, to me, that's what Create is about. It's bringing life into your Minecraft world, not keeping everything just static. It looks so cool. I love it. And with these little cages, it kind of gives again, like a kind of dark theme. So that's what I'm gonna do all over the place. So for example, here we also have a corridor where we're gonna put some of those little cages in the corners here, and inside those there's gonna be again like cogwheels and belts and pistons and stuff like that. Stuff just moving, maybe even some items being thrown from one side to the other. We'll see. We'll figure all of that out eventually over time. And for the walls, you can see there's a bit of a strange thing going on, so let's just head out there to just to show you the blocks that I'm using. So I'm using these massive bricks. They're made out of deep slate, so it's something that we're getting with the chipped mod. So if I place a few of those, as you can see, I'm placing them all in the same direction from the exact same spot. It's all the same block, but we get a different texture everywhere. So basically, it just depends on where they are placed. They're gonna take a different texture. It's really cool, and it makes those massive, like 1x2 bricks. I really like how it looks. One thing that I don't like as much, though, is, well, you can kind of see it with this middle row here. There are only 2 brick designs, and this one here has this big crack on the side here, and it would look cool if there were only, if there were like, I don't know, 5 or 6 different types of bricks. But like every brick in that row having that crack, it doesn't look as good. So what I did was, let's remove these 2. I used some of those smooth deep slate columns and other blocks like that. As you can see, they have connected textures. So if we just place 2 like that, it gives the same effect as one of those large bricks. So if you place a few of those here and there, it helps a lot with variation and breaking the repetitiveness that we see, especially with those 2 cracks here, and also to help with again some variation. Oops. I also used some basalt. So I use the same things. I use the same blocks, the same block palette, but now with basalt as well as deep slate. So it changes the color a tiny bit, and it gives that effect that we can see over there. I'm super happy about it. I really like how it looks, and we can see it also in the shaft here. So yeah, I really like that whole type of block that we have. It's really cool. So now we're gonna keep working down here. I'm not gonna work on these corridors here, the same like moving things down here. We're not gonna work on that. We're gonna work on my storage system, because right now it's not the best, and we can do a whole lot better. So for my bulk storage, I'm gonna use item vaults, which are basically huge chests that you can't open manually to access their inventory. You have to use the various mechanics that we get from the mod. So for example, funnels like that. If I put a funnel here and throw some items, right now it's in spit mode, and if I switch it around, it's gonna be in suck mode. That sounded more wrong than I expected. Anyway, sorry about that. So if you switch it around, it's gonna throw the items out. Let's use that term instead. Back onto the depot, so you can empty them like that. You can also use some chutes on top and throw the items in, and yeah, they get pushed out from this funnel here. And you can use some filters on the funnel. So if I put a filter here and another one here, oops, there we go. It's gonna send, well, you get what a filter is gonna do. It's gonna send the item in the right place. So basically what this means is I can have multiple types of item bulk stored into the same vault and choose which one I take just by choosing which output I'm taking the items from. So here I'm gonna get my depots, here I'm gonna get my chutes. That's what I'm gonna do for my storage. And I'm not gonna use a chute on top. Not gonna place Santa Claus by throwing things from the top here, from the chimney, because as you can notice, the floor here, it's transparent, it's some kind of glass, so we're gonna have some stuff happening downstairs. So let's head down just to see what I'm gonna build there. So here we have a fan and a belt leading to the fan. If I throw items on the fan, well, that does nothing. But if I have some chutes like that, I'm just gonna make them transparent so it's easier to see. And I put a funnel to, to allow items inside that chute. If I throw items there, they get thrown inside the chute, they get pushed up, and they're gonna be spat out there. There we go. They ended up on top here. And if I have a, for example, a vault here, or, well, any type of inventory, it's gonna get sent inside that inventory. So let's just look at it in action. Let's see it rise through the chute, and ta-da, it's inside the vault now. And just to prove it, I'm gonna put a funnel here, and it spat them out. Spat out my chutes. So yeah, that's basically the system I'm gonna use. I'm gonna fill the vaults from the bottom, and to make sure that the right items end up in the right chutes, or well, in the right chute and then in the right vaults, I'm gonna use a little filtering system using, well, I'm just gonna put the items in place first, but using a brass tunnel. So if I have a belt here and I put the brass tunnel here, the items are gonna come in from this side here. And if I put, for example, a filter for the shafts here, shafts are gonna get sent to the vault, and my wrench got sent here on the ground, so it continued on its merry way. You see, the shafts are getting set inside the vault as expected. So it basically acts as a one block item filter. It's really cool. It makes things a whole lot simpler than the regular game. And with well, I'm gonna have a long conveyor belt. Sorry, I forgot the word. Long conveyor belt, like looping around the place, feeding each of the vaults. And the rest of my items are just gonna go into like one last vault where I'll deal with that later. So now that we have a plan for my bulk storage, let's just start building that. And building is exactly what happened here. So as you can see, we kept the theme consistent with what we have so far in the base, so the green roof and the dark walls. I did change the floors a bit. The blocks that I was using before, they were a bit too busy, they were a bit too... we couldn't really see through, and the whole point of this room is to see through the floor and look at the machine working. So yeah, had to change that. I'm using just some clear glass, well, light gray stained glass. And I'm using these, for this little walkway, it's kind of a great looking trapdoor. So they're dark oak trapdoors with chipped, you can change them to have that texture. But yeah, super happy with the end result here. And I mean, of course, we can see the floor, well, through the floor, we can see the machine. It looks so cool. So let's just send some items in. Few items here and there. Let's pick that and that, and yeah, that's good enough. So if we throw all those items down in the system, look at that, it looks so cool. I love it. Well, I was gonna say it brings so much life. It is quite slow. That's something that I have to admit. It's pretty slow because it's all working on some some water wheels that we have hidden under the floor here, so yeah, it does what it can. Eventually, when we get a better power source, we'll have something that works a bit faster and is a bit more spectacular, but so far it's still so cool. I love it. Did I say that I really like this mod? I'm not sure if I've said it already. Also, made a little system here, so if we flick this lever, it's gonna send the items back in the path that we have already, so it's basically turning it into a loop, so in case I put too many of the same types of items and it gets clogged, we can just have everything just looping around until everything gets filtered, and if I switch it that way instead, we are sending the excess items, or the items that didn't get filtered, so any items that won't go into bulk, we'll be sending them in this last vault, and that's the bulk storage system done. We have still one tiny last little plan for today's episode, and it's gonna involve building a little room across the hall over there. And won't you look at that, it's already built. Well, that's perfect, we can actually start furnishing it. So let's start with a couch. The only problem is, when we sit down on the couch, there's not really much to look at, so let's just add something right there. Okay, that's a lot better, but it's still a bit boring, because it doesn't say anything. So let's just add a little message. That's gonna be the perfect waiting room for my streams. So quick little announcement, I'm gonna be streaming a lot more in the near future, because, let's be honest, I really struggle making videos nowadays. I really don't have any time. I'm gonna probably talk about that a bit in a bit more detail in the near future. But yeah, won't be doing too much video. I'm still gonna try and do some, but yeah, I'm gonna focus on streaming for the next few weeks, and we're gonna start that tonight. So as this video is being released, it's on Saturday morning, Saturday night, I'm gonna be streaming at about 7 PM my time. So do the math, the video's been released at 9 AM. So add, how many hours? 10 hours. Add 10 hours to the time it was released. Anyway, 7 PM EST. Come join us. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So that's gonna be it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.